About a month ago, or maybe it's already 2 months, I don't know. Anyway, recently I made a video about the Spider-Man myth, and I explained what the pagans meant with the myth of Spider-Man. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Superman myth. Well, the Superman myth may have the origin in other myths, but the Superman myth I'm talking about now is that figure with a red and blue costume that hovers around, or that flies around, not really flying, but he is actually floating around in the air, rescuing people, fighting the bad guys. And he has telepathic abilities. Man, he is what they call Superman. But in daily life, he is just Clark Kent. Someone who works at an office that wears the glasses. He's like a nerdy figure. But look at this. That nerdy figure is not who he really is. That nerdy figure is who he pretends to be. Now, why isn't he just acting out as Superman all the time? Now, in this message, there's something I want to point out to you. Because as I mentioned before, the pagan rulers of this world, they tell you what they do. But not only that, they also reveal things onto you that you might not notice yourself. They give you true facts, but they do it in an inverted manner. I already explained this with the Spider-Man myth, now do it with the Superman myth. Now look, this Superman who goes through life as Clark Kent, he is like this. He faces a rival called Lex Luthor. Lex means law. Luther refers to Protestantism. Or let me say, because out of the Lutheran movement, he also laid head of other movements of Protestantism, from which capitalism also came. And capitalism is the main economic force on the earth today. That's also exploiting many people. So even the character Lex Luthor is a symbol used by the pagans. And you have this love interest of Clark Kent, with whom he has some, I would say, issues, difficulties. And then you have the population itself. Now, this Superman myth, it reveals that people in general, common people, will rather put up with Lex Luthor or this corporate capitalist system that feeds off the human population as a parasite. They'll rather put up with tyranny than they would put up with someone like them combating tyranny. It may sound very weird what I'm saying here, but just think about it. In the Superman movies, there are many movies about Superman, there are also many cartoons made about it. What you'll notice is that when Clark Kent, when Superman goes out and defeats those bad guys, he disappears. He never sticks around. Because he knows he cannot trust the common people. He doesn't even reveal his identity. Well, in one of the movies, I believe he did reveal his identity to someone. But in general, he can't reveal his identity. Now, why does he reveal his identity? If people know he's Superman, that he's the one keeping all the bad guys out, shouldn't people be happy with it? No. That's not how it goes. Because Superman understands the psychology of common people. Superman understands, just like Lex Luthor and those and the bad guys in the series or in the movies, he understands that common people are control freaks. He understands that common people want control. And that when you are not controlled by them, they become frightened of you. And they'll project this fright onto you. And once projected the fright onto you, now they want to take actions against you to be relieved. So they become violent towards you. Superman understands this perfectly. Superman also understands that the violence in the world is enabled by common people. So that's why Superman goes through life as Clark Kent. He doesn't have to go through life as Clark Kent. He doesn't have to put up with all those limitations. Yet he realizes it's better to have an undercover identity so that people wouldn't notice who he is. And look at this. Superman is a myth. We know that. But isn't that what Christ also did when he came the first time? He was born as a human being, so he was a real human being then, okay? But when he walked the earth, he had his undercover identity. He did reveal who he was, but even then he did it in a covert manner. You mean, why didn't God just tell everyone that he's God? Period. No. Think about it. He grew up as a little boy, became a teenager, became an adolescent male, passed through his 20s, and people didn't realize he was God himself. That's a miracle. Sometimes I think, how could nobody notice something different about this man? Look, Christ, who is real, knows very well how common people are. That's why he decided to have an undercover identity. And you know what? Whether you're born again or not, in this world, when you want to remain secure, there are times you need an undercover identity. Because, let me tell you, if people know who you really are and what you're capable of, I'm telling you, some of you would not remain alive for long. Okay, let me explain why. And I'm going to use parables about real life now. Let's say now you have a group of guys. They go to the club because there are party girls over there and they want to hook up with one of those girls. They're really into one of those chicks. Okay, but those guys are there, they buy drinks for the chicks and they kind of are begging for attention. And the girls that come there love that because that's what they're coming for. They want to be worshipped. They want to be acknowledged by those men. They feed off that attention. So they're playing all the men over there. That's what they do. Now, let's say now that there's this woman, okay, who doesn't go to parties. She doesn't go to girls' night out and all of that. And one day, there is this guy that walks by. He doesn't wear expensive clothes. He doesn't do swag and all of that. He just walks by, and suddenly that chick that doesn't do girls' night out and all of that, she feels open. She feels attracted to that guy. And after she got along with the guy, she began to dress a bit more sexier. And now those guys that go to the, let's say, to the club, notice this woman because she's now emitting this positivity. And those guys now that often go to the club are more fascinated by her than with those party girls. Because those party girls don't operate in a natural femininity. Some of them operate in toxic energy, even. Let me say most of them do. But now those men see a pure difference between this chick and those party girls. But then one of those guys remembers, wait a minute, isn't that Lisa? Is that the chick that often used to spend her time in the library? Isn't that the chick who almost had no friends? How come she became so attractive? How come she? Why didn't we know what happened? No, this is what happened. There was a guy operating in his natural masculinity, and he used his male energy to magnetically attract unattractive women. But this guy did not go for the party girls, who carried a lot of energetic baggage. I mean, a lot of energetic contamination. He drew this chick onto him. And now that the chick is with that guy, the chick feels more relaxed and she opens herself more like a flower. Now, what's going to happen now? Those other guys that used to go to those clubs are going to realize that they're missing something. They're going to realize, hold on a minute, we've been going to clubs for many years. Once in a while we get hook up with a chick, but we're stuck here. We don't have any strength. And then they realize that this chick suddenly got involved with a guy who didn't even make much effort into getting her. And what's going to happen? All those guys that often goes to clubs, they're going to become frightened. Because in their mind, in their psychology, they think if a guy can magnetically draw a chick onto him so fast and so easy, then what else can he do? So now those men, because they're frightened, they will now project it onto that guy that walks into his natural masculinity. And that guy who operates in his natural masculinity now becomes the target of their rage. All the ex-girlfriends of theirs that treated them badly is now the fault of that guy who walks in his natural masculinity. All the frustration in their life are now the fault of that guy. So now that chick that he's with also may become a target because we want to target that guy. No, in this case, that guy, let's call him Rick. Rick didn't even bother with those party boys. But because Rick operated in his natural strength and it worked, he came on the radar, even when he wasn't aware of it. And now that he's on the radar, he needs to watch out, because now he has folks coming after him. Now look, what about those party girls? Those party girls may see that this Lisa now is with this guy, and the guy doesn't even wear Gucci nor Prada, he doesn't even have an expensive car, but the guy has strength. What's going to happen now? Those party girls are going to notice that the only type of men they show interest in are emotional beggars. So then they're going to evaluate and say, hold on a minute, what's wrong here? Now, instead of those party girls checking out with themselves and look for deliverance, they now, as parasites, will go off at that Rick. Now they all want a piece of Rick. They don't care that Rick is with Lisa. They're not even concerned with Lisa. They're concerned with their own relief and with their own validation. They will target this Rick far more than those party boys. And once Rick does not give in to them, they'll become bitter, like witches. Now, what this has to do with the Superman myth? In the Superman myth, Superman operates as Clark Kent. And as Clark Kent, he seldom uses his energetic abilities. Now, in this parable I give unto you, someone used his energetic abilities. He did it openly, but not in what he thought nobody noticed him, because he didn't wear expensive clothes or anything like that. So he thought nobody's going to pay attention to me. He was wrong. His energetic emission drew attention onto him. Because remember, if you are the one walking in abundance and everyone around you is in scarcity, your abundance is going to be noticed one way or the other. So this Rick, he did one thing wrong. He did not anticipate retaliation. So nowadays with Lisa, he gets all kinds of troubles, all kinds of stalkers. Why? Because those common people don't want to look at themselves. Look at themselves something they don't want to do. So just want to pour it out on someone else to be relieved. And in this case, they chose Rick. Why didn't those party girls choose those guys they were sleeping with that treat them like dirt? Why those party boys take it out on other party boys that were their rivals? No. They went after Rick. Because Rick had power. Rick operated in strength. They had no strength. They don't want to face this fact that they had no strength. They were really operated as emotional beggars. They didn't want to face this. So now Rick became their enemy. Rick did not wear a cape. Rick did not float around in the air. Rick did not pick up a car with his bare hand and throw it away. Rick didn't have any of those paranormal enablements. No. Rick was not a wizard. He just used his natural understanding of energy fields. That's all. But this already annoyed and irritated people. I mentioned this before. When you walk in your natural energy in this world, folks will turn on you. The wolves will appear. And okay, in this spell I give unto you is an example in which Rick used his masculine energy to get an attractive girl. A girl that others didn't even consider attractive because she didn't, how do I say, she didn't have this Jezebel, whorish, desperate attitude. But now, let me give another parable. Let's say the same Rick also used his masculine energy to wear off violence. Violence is around him, but he began to wear off, he began to shield off violence from him. So this Rick, after comes home late, he walks through the streets. Nobody in the streets attacks him. After a while, people began to think he was some kind of mafia leader or some thug. Now, why do people think that? It's because on the streets, you have many people with knives walking around doing crazy things. So after 8 o'clock, most people stayed at home. People were terrified. But this Rick, he just walked around freely as if it was clear day. He had no stress whatsoever. So this frightened people. Because they thought, why isn't he frightened? So now, because others were frightened of him, they now began to exercise their fright onto Rick. Did Rick steal anything from them? Did Rick enter their homes uninvited? No. But now they were the ones invading the environment of Rick with their rage against Rick. Look, I told you this before, not to use your energetic abilities too openly amongst common people. You can use it amongst them, that's perfectly fine, but don't do it too openly. Because common people can't stand you being out of their control. When you're out of their control, they'll feel more frightened of you than they would feel of criminals going around town robbing people. And there's one thing I want to point out to the men here. Men, when you walk in your energetic abilities, of course in line with Christ, because I make these videos for Christ followers, do not be surprised when you have many of those cluster B women targeting you. You will have a lot of cluster B women suddenly paying attention to you. suddenly becoming obsessed with you, wanting attention from you. Not because they like you or not because they're interested in you, but because they are frightened. Those cluster women are used to have fearful, insecure, effeminate men around them. That's what they're comfortable with. But now they encounter you, a man that operates in his natural masculinity, in masculine energy. If that's you, they'll become frightened of you because they can't control you so easily when you operate in your natural masculine energy. And when you operate in your righteous energy, because you're in line with Christ, oh there. Now you also have power to overrule stuff, to even overrule them. It can be that you have one of these class of women who might be borderline or who has something else, who's out of her mind. And there are many other men that she can choose to be upset with and to act stupid towards. But out of all those men, she chooses you. And you think, why me? Why did this, okay, I'm not going to say the B word, but why did this chick chooses me to lash out against? Why? Because you have strength. Those other men don't. She can get away easily with those other men. With you, she can't. But nevertheless, she is angry because of that. Now, of course, when you agree with Christ, you walk in real protection. But that doesn't mean that false will not try to dump their waste on you. They will. And for men operating in their natural masculinity, especially men that walk in righteous energy, I'm saying you be prepared, it's going to happen. We're going to have cluster-B women taking it out on you. Some will get close to you, so-called become friends, or so-called show some kind of love interest. Not because they really have a love interest, just so they can get close to you, so that they can later throw their emotional bombs on you. It's you they want to dump everything upon. Not those other guys that treated them badly, not on their fathers with whom they have issues. No, they want to throw it on you. And this is nothing new. When Joseph was in Potiphar's house, Potiphar's wife targeted Joseph. Why didn't she target any of those other young male slaves in the household? No, she especially needed to target Joseph. Okay, about Bathsheba. Why didn't Bathsheba select any other rich guy to target and to get rid of her husband? No, she had to select the man of God, a man after God's own heart. I mean, just go through it. Just go to scripture. It's nothing new. Cluster B women targeting men that operate in a natural energy, especially men that operate in a righteous energy, who are in line with Christ. It happens throughout history and it's happening today also. I'm just telling you, men, be prepared for it. It's going to happen. Anticipate it. That's why I have discernment when people have interest in you. I'm not just talking about love interest here. I'm talking about in general, when people suddenly show interest in you, have discernment. Why are they interested in you? Okay? Because wolves have interest in their prey. Not because they want to be around the prey, but because they want to devour their prey. And when you operate in your natural energetic abilities, I'm telling you, wolves will notice you. That's why Christ told you to be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. Now you know a dove, when you come too close, it will fly away very quickly. And a serpent, well, a serpent goes undercover most of the time. That's what Christ meant. And you know what? Pagans understand far quicker what Christ meant than many people that claim to follow Christ. because pagans are quite practical, and pagans understand the importance of hiding your real you from predators. So the pagans, they come with myths like Superman, Spider-Man, just to tell you how things are. But most people in the masses just don't get it. Look, I can give many more examples of wolves that came after me, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to make these videos about me, okay? I'm not promoting myself here. I'm here to invest in you. And that's why I'm telling you, just like Superman, there are times you need to hide yourself. Because that Superman myth, many people focus on the paranormal stuff Superman is doing, like flying around with a cape and all of that. People don't notice the context. People don't notice that Superman is really a victim. And because he knows he's a victim, he needs to hide himself so that people wouldn't devour him. Because look, if Superman would just walk around town as Superman, oh dear, he would be finished. And in the latest Superman movie, the human beings even came to arrest him, and he surrendered himself voluntarily onto them to prevent violence. You know, sometimes you get along with stuff you shouldn't get along with just to prevent escalation. That's why Christ paid taxes. The disciples also. That's why Christ left Gadara and shook the dust off his feet. Sometimes you get along with stuff you shouldn't get along with, but you do it for the greater good. That's also something you need to learn when you're walking by faith. Now, that doesn't mean you agree with the things you get along with. You get along with it only for practical reasons. And you only get along with it as long as it's necessary. Okay, that's it for now. Agree with Christ and be at peace.